My beloved child, come closer to me. Do not rush past this moment. Do not let your thoughts wander. Be still, because what I am about to speak to you did not begin today, nor yesterday, nor even at the moment you first called my name. What I am telling you now began long before time itself unfolded. I knew you before you ever knew yourself, before your first breath filled your lungs, before your heart learned its rhythm, before the world ever placed a label upon you. I had already spoken your name. You were not an afterthought. You were not a coincidence. You were not formed by chance or carried forward by random events. You were known, seen, chosen, and loved before the foundations of the earth were laid. My child, I watched as your days were written, one by one, before any of them came to be. I saw every season you would walk through, the bright ones filled with laughter and the dark ones soaked with tears. None of it surprised me, none of it overwhelmed me, and none of it ever made me turn my face away from you. I was there when you took your first steps, even if no one else remembers. I was there when your heart first felt joy, and I was there when it first felt disappointment. I stood beside you in moments you barely survived and in moments you barely noticed. Even when you felt forgotten, even when you believed you were unseen, I never looked away. You must understand this truth. My child, my love for you did not begin because of something you did well, and it has never diminished because of something you did wrong. I am not proud of you only when you succeed. I am not close to you only when you are strong. I am not present only when you are faithful. I am your Father, and my love is not fragile. It does not fluctuate. It does not depend on performance. When you stumbled, I did not recoil. When you questioned, I did not abandon you. When you were silent, I still listened. I saw the tears you wiped away before anyone could notice. I heard the prayers you were too exhausted to speak out loud. I felt the weight you carried when you told everyone you were fine, even though your soul was weary. And still, I called you mine. My child, I want you to know something that the world has never been able to explain to you. Your worth was settled before you ever tried to earn it. You were created from my desire, not my necessity. I did not make you because I lacked something. I made you because love overflows, and you are a living expression of that overflow. Every detail of you carries intention. Your sensitivity is not weakness. Your questions are not rebellion. Your longing is not a flaw. I place those things within you because they are tools, not burdens. The world may have tried to harden you, to silence you, to make you believe that feeling deeply is dangerous. But I tell you now, your heart was designed to feel, to perceive, and to respond to my voice. You have walked through moments where you wondered if you were falling behind, if you missed your purpose, if you somehow stepped outside of my plan. Hear me clearly now. You have never outrun my grace, and you have never stepped beyond my reach. Even the detours were not wasted. Even the delays were not meaningless. Even the waiting was not empty. I was shaping you in ways you could not yet see. There were seasons where I allowed silence, not because I was absent, but because I was teaching you to listen differently. There were prayers I did not answer immediately. not because I ignored you, but because I was protecting you from answers that would have arrived before you were ready to carry them. My child, I am not slow, I am precise. What you call lost time, I call preparation. What you call failure, I call formation. What you call waiting, I call alignment. You see moments, I see generations. You see pain, I see purpose unfolding. And now, you are standing at the threshold of something new. You may not feel ready. You may not feel strong. You may not feel worthy. But readiness has never been about your strength alone. It has always been about my presence with you. I am opening your eyes to see that you were never merely surviving. You were being preserved. Every breath you took, even in the darkest nights, was sustained by me. Every time you chose to keep going when quitting felt easier, my spirit was strengthening you. You did not arrive here by accident. This chapter of your life is not a pause, it is a beginning. And as we walk forward together, I want you to remember this above all else. I am not asking you to become someone else. I am calling you to become who I always knew you were. Stay with me, my beloved. This is only the beginning. My beloved child, stay with me a little longer. Do not rush ahead. There are truths I must press gently but firmly into your heart. Because the world has spent far too long teaching you the opposite. You believed you were alone, but you never were. There were nights when silence felt heavier than words, nights when you lay awake, staring into darkness, wondering why no one understood what you were carrying. You felt surrounded by people yet internally isolated, unseen, unheard, untouched. In those moments, you whispered questions into the void, unsure if anyone was listening. I was there. I was not distant. I was not distracted. I was not withholding my presence from you. I was closer than your breath, nearer than your own thoughts. Even when you could not feel me, even when you doubted me, I remained. My child, understand this. My presence is not proven by your feelings. I do not come and go with your emotions. I do not disappear when you are weary. When your heart trembled with fear, I steadied you. When your mind raced with uncertainty, I held you in peace you did not recognize as mine. When you thought you were enduring alone, I was carrying you. There were moments you thought no one noticed your struggle. You learned to smile when you were breaking, to function when you were exhausted, to speak lightly when your soul felt heavy. You told yourself that strength meant silence, that survival meant self-reliance. But I never asked you to carry life alone. You learned independence because you felt unsupported. You learned resilience because you felt unprotected. You learned endurance because you felt unseen. Yet even then, I was forming something sacred within you. I was teaching you not how to stand alone, but how to stand rooted in me. When others walked away, I stayed. When promises were broken, mine remained intact. When human love reached its limits, my love did not waver. My child, I saw every time you blamed yourself for what was never your fault. I heard every inner accusation that told you you were too much, not enough, or somehow misplaced in this world. I watched as you questioned your value. your calling, your future. And still, I called you mine. There were seasons when you felt invisible, overlooked, passed by. You watched doors open for others while yours remained closed. You wondered if you were forgotten, if your prayers had gone unheard, if your patience had been in vain. Hear me clearly now. Waiting is not abandonment. I was not ignoring you. I was guarding you. Some doors remained closed because what was behind them would have wounded you before you were ready. Some relationships did not last because they would have diluted what I was building in you. Some paths were blocked because they would have led you away from my purpose. Even though they looked appealing, you called it rejection. I called it protection. You called it loneliness. I called it separation for consecration. My child, there is a difference between being alone and being set apart. What you experienced was not isolation. It was refinement. I was drawing you closer, even when you did not recognize my hand at work. In the quiet seasons, I was teaching you my voice. In the empty spaces, I was filling you with discernment. In the stillness, I was anchoring your identity in me rather than in applause, validation, or approval. You needed to know who you were without the noise, because what is coming requires clarity. There were moments when you cried out to me with frustration. Why does this feel so hard? Why do I feel different? Why do I always seem to walk alone? My beloved, you walk differently because you were formed differently. I placed within you a sensitivity to my spirit that others may not understand. I allowed you to feel deeply because death is where revelation flows. I taught you to listen because one day you will recognize my guidance more clearly than the crowd. Your journey has not been common because your calling is not common. I know you envied simpler paths. I know you wished, at times, that you could blend in, fit easily, move effortlessly like others seem to do. But ease does not always produce endurance, and comfort does not always produce character. I was shaping you for longevity. Even in moments when you questioned my nearness, I was answering prayers you did not yet know how to ask. You asked me to remove pain. I taught you how to endure without losing your tenderness. You asked me to change circumstances. I strengthened your spirit to rise above them. My child, look back now, not with regret, but with understanding. See how you survived what should have broken you. See how you grew in places where you thought you were merely enduring. See how wisdom quietly took root in your heart while you believed nothing was happening. I was there in the moments you replay in your mind. I was there in the conversations you wish had gone differently. I was there when you questioned your worth and your future. And I am here now. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. What you thought was solitude was actually intimacy in disguise. I was drawing you away from dependence on others so you could learn dependence on me, not because others are unimportant, but because I am foundational. Soon, I will surround you with the right people, the right connections, the right support. But first, you had to know that your source is me, not circumstances, not relationships, not approval. Because storms will come again, and when they do, you will not crumble, because you will remember this truth. You were never alone, and you never will be. I am with you in the silence. I am with you in the waiting. I am with you in the becoming. And now, my child, lift your head. What felt like isolation is ending. What felt like distance is dissolving. What felt like abandonment is being replaced with assurance. We are walking forward together. And in the next chapter, I will show you what happens when I begin to open doors no one can shut. My beloved child, now listen carefully, for what I am about to reveal will change the way you see every closed door behind you and every unopened door ahead of you. I am the one who opens, and no one can shut. I am the one who shuts, and no one can force open. You have spent many seasons standing before doors that would not move no matter how hard you pushed. You knocked with hope, you knocked with desperation, you knocked with prayers soaked in tears. And when nothing happened, you questioned yourself. You wondered if you lacked faith, if you misunderstood my voice, if you were asking for too much. But the truth is this: those doors did not open because I did not open them. Not because you were unworthy. Not because you failed. Not because I withheld my favor. I closed them because I love you. My child, if you could see what I see, you would thank me for every door that remained shut. Some doors were connected to environments that would have slowly drained your spirit. Some led to relationships that would have required you to shrink in order to belong. Some opened into opportunities that looked promising on the surface but carried hidden costs that would have wounded you deeply. I was not denying you. I was defending you. There were moments when you stood watching others walk through doors you longed for. You saw them step into positions, relationships, recognition, and success, while you remained waiting, and quietly, in places you rarely admitted out loud. Jealousy mixed with confusion, and confusion mixed with doubt. You asked me, why them and not me? You asked me, what am I missing? My beloved, you were not missing anything. You were being prepared for something different. I do not give every child the same path, because I do not call every child to the same assignment. What I am opening for you requires depth, discernment, and endurance. It requires a heart that has been stripped of illusion and anchored in truth. It requires a spirit that knows my voice well enough to follow me even when the way forward looks unfamiliar. That is why the waiting mattered. The waiting was not passive. The waiting was formative. The waiting was sacred. While you waited, I strengthened your inner life. While you waited, I removed dependencies that would have made success dangerous for you. While you waited, I taught you to trust me more than timing, applause, or outcomes. And now, my child, the season is shifting. You may not feel the shift yet, but it is happening. Doors are beginning to loosen. Locks you never touched the turning by my hand. Pathways that once felt blocked are aligning without your force or striving. Understand this clearly. What I open next will not require you to beg, chase, or prove yourself. When my timing arrives, doors open with peace, not panic, with clarity, not confusion, with confirmation, not constant questioning. The door I am opening for you will recognize you. You will walk through without shrinking. You will step forward without pretending. You will enter without leaving pieces of yourself behind. Because I am not opening doors that require compromise. I am opening doors that require courage. There will be moments when the size of what I place before you makes you hesitate. You will look at the responsibility, the calling, the weight of influence, and you will wonder if you are capable of carrying it. You will remember your past weaknesses, your failures, your limitations, and I will remind you, I am the one who goes with you. The door is not dependent on your perfection. The future is not sustained by your strength alone. I do not open doors and then abandon my children to figure things out on their own. Where I lead, I provide. Where I call, I equip. Where I send, I remain present. My child, there will be people who do not understand the doors I open for you. Some will question your readiness. Some will doubt your credibility. Some will remind you of who you used to be. Do not argue with them. A door opened by me does not need human validation. A path established by me does not need public approval. Those who are meant to walk with you will recognize my hand on your life. Those who are not will fall away naturally, without your effort. Let them go. I know it feels uncomfortable to outgrow spaces that once felt familiar. I know it feels unsettling to move forward when others expect you to remain the same. But growth always feels disruptive before it feels stable. You cannot carry new assignments with old identities. That is why I have been reshaping how you see yourself. That is why I have been removing labels the world placed upon you. That is why I have been speaking to you privately, so that when you step publicly into what I am opening, you will not be swayed by opinions that do not align with truth. My beloved, I am not opening just one door. I am opening a sequence. One door leads to another. One act of obedience unlocks the next instruction. One step forward reveals further direction. You do not need to see the entire path. You only need to trust the step in front of you. There will be moments when the door I open does not look the way you imagined. It may appear smaller, quieter, more ordinary than expected. Do not despise it. I often hide my greatest work inside humble beginnings. What starts as obedience becomes influence. What starts as faithfulness becomes favor. What starts as surrender becomes authority. I am teaching you to recognize opportunity by my presence, not by appearance. Some doors will open suddenly. Others will open gradually. Some will feel like breakthroughs. Others will feel like invitations. All of them are intentional. My child, when I open these doors, walk through them without dragging fear behind you. Do not carry yesterday's disappointments into tomorrow's possibilities. Do not project old wounds onto new assignments. You are not the same person who once stood knocking in desperation. You are wiser now, stronger, more anchored, more aware of my voice. You are ready in ways you do not yet fully recognize. And even when uncertainty rises, remember this: I do not open doors to confuse you. I open doors to advance you. If at any moment the door begins to feel heavy with anxiety rather than peace, pause and listen. My guidance will never rush you into panic. My spirit leads with clarity and calm. Trust that I am ahead of you, preparing what you cannot yet see. The door I am opening will not only change your position, it will refine your perspective. You will begin to see how every closed door behind you protected you, trained you, and positioned you for this moment. One day, you will look back and say, "Now I understand." But today, I ask you simply to trust. Stand up, my beloved. Release the door you were never meant to enter. Turn toward the one I am opening now. I am with you as you cross this threshold. And in the next chapter, I will teach you why what feels like delay is never denial, and how my timing carries more mercy than you realize. My beloved child, I do not speak to you about storms to frighten you, but to free you from fear. Storms do not arrive to undo what I have built in you. They come to reveal it. You have already endured storms that should have destroyed you, yet here you stand, not because the winds were weak, but because I was with you in the center of them. And now, as I prepare you for what lies ahead, you must understand this truth deeply. Storms do not mean you are off course. Often, they mean you are exactly where you need to be. There will be moments when resistance rises the moment clarity arrives. When peace settles in your spirit, opposition may follow. This is not coincidence. Growth attracts pressure. Advancement invites testing. But testing is not punishment. It is confirmation that what has been placed within you is real. The storm does not question your calling. The storm exposes your foundation. You have learned to stand in ways you once could not. There was a time when fear would have paralyzed you, when uncertainty would have stolen your rest, when conflict would have shaken your confidence. But you are not that person anymore. You have roots now, roots formed in waiting, roots strengthened through pruning, roots anchored in my presence rather than in circumstances. When the storm comes, and it will, you will feel the wind. But you will not be carried away by it. You will hear the noise, but it will not silence my voice within you. You will see the waves rise, but they will not drown the peace I have placed in your heart. Peace is not the absence of storms. Peace is the presence of me within them. My child, storms often arrive to reveal where you still try to control outcomes rather than trust me. They expose hidden fears, unresolved wounds, and areas where you rely on your own strength. Do not despise this revelation. It is mercy in motion. I do not expose to shame you. I expose to heal you. There will be moments when you are tempted to panic, to rush, to react emotionally. In those moments, remember who you are becoming. Remember how I have trained you to pause, to listen, to respond rather than react. Storms test the alignment. If you remain anchored in me, the storm will pass without uprooting you. But if you lean on fear, comparison, or self-reliance, the storm will feel heavier than it needs to be. You are learning discernment in motion. Some storms will not be personal. They will surround you, not target you. You will feel the chaos of others, the uncertainty of systems, the instability of circumstances beyond your control. Do not internalize what was never meant to define you. I will teach you how to remain calm while everything around you shakes. I will show you how to carry peace into environments filled with anxiety. Your steadiness will become a refuge for others. This is part of your calling. There will also be storms that challenge your obedience. When you choose integrity, resistance may rise. When you refuse compromise, pressure may increase. When you walk away from what is popular but misaligned, you may feel misunderstood. Do not retreat. The storm that follows obedience cannot cancel what I have ordained. My beloved, you are not called to fight every storm. Some are meant to be walked through quietly. Some are meant to be endured with patience. Some are meant to be rebuked. Wisdom will teach you the difference. Listen for my voice. I will guide you when to speak. I will guide you when to be silent. I will guide you when to stand firm and when to move. Storms refine your spiritual hearing. They train you to distinguish between my direction and the noise of fear. They teach you to trust my presence even when outcomes remain unclear. You will notice something surprising. The storms will not last as long as they once did. What previously lingered for seasons will now pass more quickly, not because life becomes easier, but because your capacity to remain steady has grown. You no longer measure stability by external calm. You measure it by internal alignment. I know there are moments when you wonder why storms still come if you are walking with me. Why obedience does not eliminate struggle. Why faith does not guarantee ease. But my child, ease does not build endurance, and comfort does not produce courage. Storms teach you how to stand without applause, how to trust without clarity, how to love without assurance of return. These lessons shape leaders, not spectators. And do not forget this. I am not watching you from the shore. I am with you in the storm. I speak peace not as a distant observer, but as one who stands in the boat with you. When the winds rise, do not assume I am absent. When waves crash, do not assume you are failing. When uncertainty presses in, do not assume you are losing ground. You are being strengthened. One day, you will look back and realize that the storms you feared most were the very moments that solidified your trust in me. They will no longer define you by pain, but by resilience. You will speak from experience, not theory. You will comfort others not with cliches, but with credibility. This is how authority is forged. My beloved, lift your eyes. The storm will not have the final word. I do. And in the final chapter, I will speak blessing over you, show you how to walk forward unshaken, and invite you into the fullness of what we have prepared together. My beloved child, come and rest here with me. This is not an ending. It is a crossing. What we have spoken through every chapter has been preparation for this moment. Where fear loosens its grip, striving falls silent, and you learn how to walk forward in the blessing I have already placed upon you. I want you to understand something clearly now. My blessing is not something you chase. It is something you carry. You were taught to believe that blessing is a reward for perfection, for constant strength, for flawless obedience. But my blessing has always flowed from relationship, not performance. It rests on those who remain with me, even when they stumble, even when they question, even when they grow tired along the way. You are blessed because you are mine, not because you never failed, not because you always understood, not because you never doubted, but because you stayed. You stayed when leaving felt easier. You stayed when answers felt distant. You stayed when faith felt thin but real. That staying has shaped you more than you realize. Now, I am inviting you to walk, not cautiously, not fearfully, not waiting for permission, but confidently, aware of my presence with every step you take. Walking in my blessing does not mean the absence of difficulty. It means the presence of purpose within it. You will still face choices. You will still encounter uncertainty. You will still feel moments of weakness, but you will no longer be defined by them. They will become places where my grace meets you, steadies you, and moves you forward. My child, the blessing I place upon you is not fragile. It is not easily broken by mistakes or moments of hesitation. It is sustained by my faithfulness, not yours. I bless your mind with clarity. I bless your heart with peace. I bless your steps with direction. Where confusion once lingered, wisdom will rise. Where fear once whispered, assurance will speak louder. Where exhaustion once weighed you down, renewal will come. You will notice that life begins to feel lighter, not because responsibilities disappear, but because you no longer carry them alone. You will sense a new ease in your obedience, a quiet joy in your surrender. This is what it means to walk with me. I am teaching you how to move forward without dragging yesterday behind you. Regret no longer has authority over you. Shame no longer gets the final word. Your past is no longer a prison. It is a testimony of how my mercy carried you through. Release what I have already redeemed. You are not required to punish yourself for lessons already learned. You are not obligated to revisit wounds I have already healed. You are not defined by versions of yourself that no longer exist. You are new. As you walk in my blessing, you will begin to see how everything aligns differently. Opportunities will come without manipulation. Relationships will form without striving. Doors will open without force. This does not mean you stop being diligent. It means your diligence is now guided by peace rather than pressure. Some will notice the change in you. They will ask how you remain calm when others panic, steady when others rush, hopeful when others despair. You will not need impressive words to explain it. Your life will answer for you. My child, I bless you to become a blessing, not through grand gestures alone, but through consistent presence, quiet faithfulness, and love expressed in ordinary moments. You will bless others by listening when they feel unheard, by standing firm when they feel uncertain, by pointing them to me without needing to be seen. Remember this: you do not need to convince anyone of what I am doing in your life. Fruit speaks, time reveals, faithfulness endures. I bless your obedience. I bless your discernment. I bless your courage to choose truth even when it costs you comfort. There will still be days when you feel unsure, when you need reassurance, when you must return to me for strength. Do not see those moments as regression. See them as relationship continuing. I never intended this journey to end. I intended it to deepen. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, return to this truth. I am with you. Whenever you feel unqualified, remember, I equip those I call. Whenever you feel afraid, remember, my presence goes before you. You are not walking into the unknown alone. I am already there. And now, my beloved, lift your head and step forward. Walk in the blessing that has been waiting for you. Walk in the peace that guards your heart. Walk in the purpose that unfolds one faithful step at a time. I am proud of you, not because you arrived, but because you trusted me along the way. Stay close. Keep listening. Keep walking. I am with you, always. Amen.